Bro, is that a red dot? What? Yeah. Dude, gnarly. Yeah, thanks, man. What's up, guys? So I've been window shopping for red dots for handguns for a little while now. I just wanted something a little bit easier to get on target than having to line up sights every shot. And ended up finding this thing. It's the Visum Flip Dot. I didn't spend a whole lot on it. It was like 80 bucks. But what I like about it is it's kind of sleek and it folds down like that. So if I ever do have to carry it, I mean, I don't have to worry about it snagging on anything or getting too caught up or like being in the way. But at the same time, I'm a little bit worried that like, as it flips like that, there we go. As it flips like that, I mean, is it gonna reset it on the recoil? Like while I'm shooting, is it gonna have enough to stay up? Is it gonna lock back down? Or, you know, like if I've got a slide drop or something, is it gonna make it kick back up like that? So, I mean, I kind of want to just run it through and see what this thing's all about. And I mean, I still gotta assume it's faster than using like traditional iron sights like these, where every single time you've got to, you know, wobble around, find your sights, and then take a shot and do it again, take a shot, do it again. Where with this thing, I can just come up, hit a red dot, and bam, 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 bam. So we're gonna run this thing through its paces. We're gonna see if it actually holds, if it was worth the whole like 80 something dollars I spent on it. It's nothing too crazy, but got some steel set up behind me in the trees over here. All right, so we've got our steel hanging out here in the trees. It's nothing too crazy. I mean, it's got a couple marks on it already from zeroing that thing in. And it's not like huge, but it's not tiny either. But I mean, I just want to see how easy it's actually going to be to like get the red dot out and hit this thing. And if it really is quicker than like having to realign iron sights every other shot. So let's get on this thing. All right, so this thing is a 3 MOA dot, which really isn't that bad. I mean, it's pretty small. Shouldn't have any issue hitting steel from here. But I mean, if I do, it's not because I suck. If you hear the wind, sorry. It's not because I suck. It's because my trigger is broken and there's sun in my eyes. And I haven't cleaned my gun in 10 years. So it's definitely not my fault. But we got 5 in the mag. We're gonna see how this thing does right out of the bat. So 5 on first try. That's definitely a lot easier than using regular iron sights. I mean, like, I wasn't hitting the thing full speed like some kind of race gun. But I mean, it was enough to where like I was comfortably shooting it. I could see the steel moving. As soon as that dot hit, I pulled. I mean, I way prefer that to irons any day. All right, so I got another 5 loaded up. And this time, instead of like seeing about hitting the steel, I want to see if I can shoot fast enough to get this thing to lock back down. Because the first time I was just kind of like, okay, let's see if we can hit steel. It's a pretty small dot. Let's see how it does. I can't complain. But now I want to see if I can find a complaint, I guess. So let's put 5 more on. If I miss, it's because I'm not really trying to hit this time. I just want to see if I can get this thing to fail. So here we go. All right, so those first 2 shots, I don't want to talk about it. The last 3, that was pretty good, huh? But it didn't lock back at all, surprisingly. I mean, it wasn't super duper speed, but it was quick enough to where if this thing was going to have an issue with recoil, it would have done it. And I figure it would have fallen back sometime between those 5 shots. So now I want to load up another mag, and this time see if it's going to give me that same issue. It's not doing it now. See if it's going to give me that same issue with this thing popping up. I think I'm probably going to intentionally slide lock it. I'll just put them in one at a time and do like 3 shots. So I'll do an intentional slide lock and then see if we can get this thing to mess up. Let's try it out. All right, here we go. So we got 1 in the mag, none in the gun. I'm going to start with this thing down like that. I'm going to see if I can slide drop it and if that's going to make this thing pop up. Because it's, I mean, it's a little bit of an issue. I guess it's not that bad. It'd probably be a good thing, honestly. But I want to find something to complain about. I only paid $80 for this thing. It better suck. So here we go. We got to flip up our right out of the gate. So let's see how bad I am at this. Solid. Still no lockback. I don't want to talk about why my mag didn't make my slide lock back right there. We're complaining about the dot, not the Glock. So here we go again. One more. Optic down. I kind of rocked it a little bit and it still didn't do it that time. Not complaining. And we're good. Alright, last one. I mean, I don't know why I would really want to complain about that. It kind of seems like it'd be a cool thing if, like, I can't even get it to do it now that I wanted to. There it is. It'd be kind of a cool thing if, like, every time the slide dropped, it came up. And it kind of makes you more ready, I guess. But, you know, I want something to cry about. Here we go. Alright, so I think that's 2 on pop. One time it didn't. Still no lockback on the actual shooting itself. I don't want to talk about my gun. So still no lockback while it's shooting, like getting it to lockback from the recoil. Still not getting it to do that, which I would say is a huge deal. That'd be something I'd be really worried about, because like if I have to shoot, and every time I shoot I have to hit this thing again and again and again, it kind of makes it worthless. And it's not even enough. It's not even really enough to where like you notice that movement whenever you are shooting. I mean, I can't tell how much it's moving, but you really can't see it. Like it's at least peppy enough to where as soon as the dot's there, you see it. And once you take the shot, I mean, it's right back on target. So let's load up a mag and like, I'm gonna try to get an angle and see how much this thing moves. Let's go for that next. All right, so what I want to see is if you guys will be able to see it, if whenever I'm shooting, if you can actually see this thing bouncing. So I mean, I'm not gonna be like super tight up on the gun. Side note, I don't think my slide's locking back because I might have put an extension on this mag. But here we go. Try to keep it in line with the camera as much as I can here. So I don't know how much of that you guys saw, but let's check it out. Alright, so I don't know if you guys actually saw that. I didn't actually see this bounce at all whenever I was looking at the video. I don't know if you guys did, maybe you have better eyes than me. But it wouldn't be enough, I don't think, to where it's an actual issue with this thing moving while you're shooting, to where it would throw your sight alignment off, or you wouldn't actually be able to take another shot fast enough. So I mean, it's holding up pretty well. I mean, for what I spent on it, it's not bad. Like, I really can't complain. It kind of pops on the slide drop a little bit, which, I mean, for me, like I said, isn't a bad thing. I'd almost say it's kind of a benefit. But because I kind of suck with red dots, I want to see how easy it actually is with this thing to come up, hit the dot, and get on target and actually take a shot. So I've got like 10 rounds loaded up in here. I got steel behind me, and let's see how easy this thing is to use. Here we go. That steel moves way too much. So I mean, I'm not complaining. That's a lot faster than I would have been with irons for sure. And it's probably about 10 times more accurate than I would have been with irons already. I mean, for you guys who... Yeah, I missed. I don't want to talk about it. So I mean, for you guys who are going to hate on me for not using a holster, I didn't bring one. Science. I'm just trying to see if this red dot messes up. I'm not really trying to practice anything here. That was a side. My trigger finger's broken. Alright, so I've got 8 rounds left. It's not a whole lot. I lined up just a couple empty ammo boxes on the hillside here. I don't know how well you can see them, but it wouldn't be much of a red dot test if I didn't see like how quick I could work through them. Once again, I kind of suck with red dots, so this is a hit and miss for me. All right, don't judge me, but you know, praise to the Pew Lords. Let's do this. All right, I'm pretty sure I hit all of them at least once. That's one. 2, 3, 4, and 5. I won't talk about 5. Alright, so it might have done a lot better than I was expecting it to. Honestly, I kind of thought this thing was going to give me more issues than it did. I really was worried that while the slide was recoiling, that this thing was just going to keep locking back on me and I'd have to keep redeploying it, but it didn't do it once. Now, I'm not saying that's for sure, it just didn't do it to me. Another thing I was really worried about is while I was shooting, if I was shooting fast or, you know, I was trying to get a good target, this was going to be an issue for me. I was like, okay, well, what happens if it's back here like this while it's riding the recoil and I can't actually see the red dot? But I couldn't actually see this thing bounce at all while I was shooting. It functioned like a fixed red dot. So I can't complain about that either. The only thing it really did do wrong is, I won't do it now, of course, is whenever I was doing those slide drops, it did pop up, I think twice. But again, to me, that's not really an issue to complain about. I kind of prefer that because, like, if I have to come out and do a reload, I like that. I'm not going to complain about it. If I could do it every time, I would. But another big pro for me on this, and I didn't have to use it today because I just put a battery in it, is, I don't know how fast it's going to focus for you guys, but there are built-in iron sights on this thing. So unlike a lot of the fixed red dots that don't have them, if you do have to do what I did and replace your actual rear sight, it's not going to leave you stranded if your battery dies. Like, you're just SOL. You can't do anything because you've got no dot. At least this way, they might not be like the greatest sights, or they're not going to hold for like 100 yards or whatever, but it's something, you know. That's a lot better than nothing. But I mean, from hitting swinging steel, which counts as a moving target to me at least because I'm terrible, it did really well. It held. I mean, as soon as dot was on steel, I pull trigger, it's fine. And the only times I missed was because it was my fault, because I'm terrible. But whenever I was over here and I hit these little boxes that were up on the hillside, transitioning and swinging across, I had no issue. Like, the dot held with my eye, no problem. Catching it on the recoil was no problem. So I've honestly got nothing bad to say about this thing. I spent maybe 80 something on it, and if you're in the market to be a little bit quicker, you're in the market to be a little bit peppier and, you know, up your game a little bit, this is probably a really great place for you to start. So what I'll do is I'll probably link where I got mine down below in the description. I'll link the adapter plate that I got because I had to get a specific adapter for it. And I don't want you guys wasting money like I did. I have like 3 of these things now. But other than that, if you enjoyed the video, you like seeing me suck or you like seeing me hit targets, go ahead and subscribe, throw a like on there, and I'll see you guys next time.